Hello, my name is Bisi Akande and I just want to add value to you. This is pointer to your motivation and I'm sharing to you on focus on your goals. Now, sometimes we just get worked up by trying to compare ourselves to others, and then we move into this competition zone that doesn't help us and do any good for us. A little healthy competition is fine, but when you become consumed by the desire to do better than others, then you cross over into that unhealthy territory where you begin to lose focus on what exactly you are called to do. So you've got to learn how not to climb the ladder of success by trying to look at what others are doing, but by concentrating on what it is that you want to do. You see, focus on your focus. See, where your focus goes, there your energy will flow to. When you concentrate on what you are called to do, it begins to grow. See, when you pay attention to what your goals are, then it begins to gain more attention from others. It becomes attractive to others, just like it is attractive to you. So don't allow yourself to be focused on what others are doing. Rather, keep your focus on what you are called to do. Keep your focus on your goal. As you focus on what you are called to do, your motivation, the desire to do it begins to increase, and then you find yourself enjoying it more than looking somewhere. When you compare yourself to others or try to compete with others, you are allowing negative energies into your life, and that will not help you. Focus on you. You deserve it. Till I come your way next time, please stay motivated and be well. Hello, my name is Bisi Akande and I just want to add value to you. This is pointer to your motivation and I'm sharing to you on focus on your goals. Now, sometimes we just get worked up by trying to compare ourselves to others, and then we move into this competition zone that doesn't help us and do any good for us. A little healthy competition is fine, but when you become consumed by the desire to do better than others, then you cross over into that unhealthy territory where you begin to lose focus on what exactly you are called to do. So you've got to learn how not to climb the ladder of success by trying to look at what others are doing, but by concentrating on what it is that you want to do. You see, focus on your focus. See, where your focus goes, there your energy will flow to. When you concentrate on what you are called to do, it begins to grow. See, when you pay attention to what your goals are, then it begins to gain more attention from others. It becomes attractive to others, just like it is attractive to you. So don't allow yourself to be focused on what others are doing. Rather, keep your focus on what you are called to do. Keep your focus on your goal. As you focus on what you are called to do, your motivation, the desire to do it begins to increase, and then you find yourself enjoying it more than looking somewhere. When you compare yourself to others or try to compete with others, you are allowing negative energies into your life, and that will not help you. Focus on you. You deserve it. Till I come your way next time, please stay motivated and be well.
All right, good day, everyone, from everywhere that you are watching us from. I want to welcome you again into Leadership Community with Bisi Akande. I really want to say thank you for joining us again. Today is always a time that every one of us we keep looking out for. And we are here again today so that we can learn. And I know that you are going to be better than the time that you have joined. Welcome once again. Now, tonight is going to be a unique day and a unique night. All that we'll be doing today is questions and questions and questions. We have had several series of teaching about leadership. Now, one of the things that we major today is to ask ourselves questions. about leadership, and you are free to ask any question relating to leadership. So wherever you are, that you are watching us from or you are listening from, I would like to encourage you that if you have a question, please kindly send it to the group, and at a time, we'll be creating a time so that your question will be asked. So you are welcome again. I'm not here alone. I'm here with my co-host, Paul. Paul, you're welcome. Please, can we have Paul, please? You're welcome.
Thank you, Shegun. It's a wonderful time once again at the leadership community. For me, I always say leadership community is a place where leaders are groomed, a place where we are meant to train to focus on our calling and be influential to our society at large. And it's always a wonderful time with PBA. I welcome you, just like what Shegun said. In case you're anywhere you're listening to us from, you have questions based on all the previous teachings, please let's have it displayed so that they can adequately be answered. Thank you, Shegun. Over to you.
All right, Paul, before we go to our guest, before we bring in our guest, I would like to ask you, what are your expectations tonight? What are you expecting?
Well, I expect answers to so many of the burning questions in my heart. A lot of PB and some other speakers have done fantastically well, teaching lots of teachings on leadership. So this is a time to get answers to those questions that are very pertinent, not just for me, but for so many people that are part of the leadership community. So I expect something wonderful tonight.
All right, that means that we are in for a great thing at this hour. So now joining us is our special guest, our friend, our leader that everybody is really looking up to. Now, please, can we bring on Bisi Akande? Come on, wherever you are, if you are there, can you just appreciate this man, a great leader? Bisi Akande, please, can we have him?
Thank you so much. It's a privilege once again to be here, and I'm excited to be here with you. Now, what we're talking about, your leadership community, is beginning to happen because today I'm a guest.
I'm sure somebody is looking at Bisi Akande as a guest on the program. That's great. That's great. So you are welcome. You're welcome. And we want you to know that you have really been a very great leader to several of us. And today, I won't say you're on the hot seat, but there are several questions, like my co-host said, a burning question. So today we'll be going around the clock. We really want to talk about leadership. Now we want to look at leadership in several aspects, leadership in society, leadership. We just had an election, and there are several issues about that election, about a particular leader giving an instruction, about people deciding to do what. And I'm sure that on this program, we have heard about what makes people to follow you. So I'm sure that in the program, you'll be giving us, shedding more light about the kind of leadership that happened in one of the Edo election. And we'll be talking about some of the things that we have spoken about here on this program. So before we start, again, I need to tell you, there is somebody that will be coming in again to join us, but I will still hold that as a secret. We have a very secret guest that is coming on this program, and I'm sure you'll be glad to see him. So now, to just kickstart, because of our time, to kickstart. Now, there are several things that has been learned by several speakers that they have given us on this platform. So PBA, please, one of the questions I have here that it has been sent to us that people are eager to know is, as a leader, how do I regain clarity when I'm actually at the lowest point in my business? How do I regain clarity when I'm actually at the lowest point in my business?
Okay, fantastic. Because I know we're talking about clarity about twice on the community, and I know people will be asking, how do I get clarity? How do I gain clarity? Or how do I regain clarity? Because if you're not clear about what you want to do, the truth of the matter is that you're not going to do it. Or even if you are doing it, you'll do it in a way that will not give you the desired result. So, how do I gain clarity? I ask myself questions. Now, one of the things that you will notice here is that a lot of times I talk about questions, and these days I bring questions on board because you see, the good thing about questions is that questions help you to look into yourself. See, that's why sometimes people don't like questions. When you ask somebody a question, why are you asking me that question? Why should you be asking me that question? But the truth is that when you ask why, then you find out what. When you ask why, you find out how. When you don't ask questions, what you do is that you don't gain answers. So every answer to life's issue comes when we ask questions. So there are some questions I like to ask myself when I want to gain clarity, and it will help you. One of the questions is, what are the 5 things that I like to do? Because you're trying to gain clarity on this job, on this assignment. What are the 5 things that I like to do? When you ask that question, it helps you to reach out to the things that you really like to do, or the things that you like about what you are doing. Another question that you can ask is, what are the 5 things that you dislike when they are not well done? Now, that takes you in. For example, I am on this community. What are the 5 things that I don't like when not well done on the leadership community? I don't like it when backgrounds are not good. I don't like it when it's not excellent. I don't like it when it looks like it's wishy-washy. These are things that I don't like. Now, when I don't like those things, it means that I probably have an answer to those things. So I know I look exactly at the things that I don't like because it gives me those answers that I need. Another thing that I like to ask is, what are the 5 things that people call me for? Now that question is trying to get clarity for myself. What are the things that people call me for? Because you see, when people are calling you for a particular thing, what that means is that you have an answer to that thing. If your clients, your business people are calling you for a thing, it means that you have an answer for that thing. If you don't have an answer for those things, people will not be able to call you. So if you don't gain that awareness, now, why am I asking these questions? Remember, I'm trying to gain awareness. And awareness is critical. We have spoken in this platform some time ago when we were talking about as a man thinker that there are 7 levels of awareness. If you want to understand the 7 levels of awareness, just go to leapacademy.com. I'm not going to share it here again, but go to leapacademy.com and I'm sure you'll find it there on the As a Man Thinker program. But you see, there are 7 levels, and the lowest level of awareness is what is called the animal level. The animal level is where we operate like the sheep, where everybody goes and you follow. You just follow. Lowest level of awareness, which is what people do. But you want to have real awareness. You want to have awareness that is real, that is critical. You want to have an awareness that brings you into light. So you ask yourself, what are the things that people call me for? And then you take a pen and you write them down and fizzle them in. Then ask yourself questions like, for example, if you're in business, what are people willing to pay you for? Because you cannot afford to be doing things on a regular basis that are adding value to people and not adding value to you. You will run yourself out. You will run out of life. You will run out of light. You will run out of business. So you've got to be able to come into that level. And I know this is the 5th question. Can you? What are the things that you know that has never left you that will help you to dig into your reality, your purpose, your placement? What are the things that you do that has never really left? That's quite critical. Those are questions I need to answer.
All right, I feel we are having issues with the network. So as we are waiting for PBA to come up, I'm sure they are working on the network.
I see it. It's connecting.
Okay, so I think we had a network problem there. So I was talking about those things before our host comes back in. Um, we'll definitely be having a great time. So what I see Odiaka is saying, what are people willing to pay you for? That's a critical question that you need to ask yourself. What is it that people are willing to pay you for? Now, when you answer these questions, you gain conscious awareness. That's important. We need to gain this awareness. We need to be able to see things the way they are and the way they should be before you, the way they are, so that we can change the way they should be. So you've got to be able to think in that dimension, think in that direction. What are the things that people are willing to pay you for? Because you want to gain clarity. You want to gain clarity. You want to gain clarity, and clarity is critical for life. If you don't have clarity, you'll be groping in the dark. So you've got to get into that level where you get clarity. And clarity is quite important. So he was talking about elections taking place. So before Shelby comes in, let me look into that. Talking about elections and elections. The way elections are done, sometimes in some part of the world, people just look at this as a do or die affair. But this is my take. If you want to serve, if you really want to serve, you can serve on any platform. You don't need a position to serve. There's nothing wrong with you getting the position, because the position can actually multiply your influence, can help you to grow a bigger influence. But if you want to serve and people do not get you on board to serve, what do? What I think you should do is to go serve in the little places where you can serve. Use the places that are opening up for you. Use those places. When you use those places that are opening up for you, then people recognize your giftings, and then they begin to bring you in. They begin to bring you into those spaces. A lot of time, leaders look at it as a do or die affair. But one of the things I noticed in recent times in some of the elections that are held in this part of the world is that some leaders have been able to come on board and say, congratulations to the person that has been said to be the winner of the election. By and by, I don't know whether the person called the winner is actually the winner, but the truth of the matter is that we've got to get to that level in leadership when it becomes a collaborative work, where you are able to see yourself as collaborators in the game of leading. Not that it's not a win-lose affair. It's a win-win affair. You've got to get to that level where it's a win-win-win. It's a win and win affair for you and for everyone. It's not a place where you say, okay, somebody else is losing and I'm winning. So you've got to be able to win. So we're not getting Shelby in now. So maybe Paul Obiodu can come in and then take their place, so that we can, take his place until he comes in, and we can ride on with this, because they have the questions that are meant to answer. So let's bring.
All right.
In.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, PBA. There was something you said about asking why. You said when you ask why, you are going to gain clarity, and that's fantastic. Now, let's look at this scenario. Someone said a leader without someone following is just taking a stroll. Now, how do you handle, you as a leader, how do you handle a situation whereby you put all the necessary things into what you're doing, and you just realize that people are not just following? And now it's not about your competence now. It's about the fact that maybe people don't believe in your ideology, or as it were, or you just have difficult followers. How do you handle that as a leader?
Well, last word that you said, difficult followers. Sometimes I really want to say there are no difficult followers. I really want to say that. I just want to say, rather than talking about difficult followers, let's talk about the fact that we probably do not understand the key that gets into those followers. Maybe that's just it. We don't get the key that gets into those followers. That's the way I look at it. Sometimes you look at somebody as difficult, but when you put that same person in the hands of a different person with different conditions, you discover that person begins to produce maximally. Many times we call people difficult when we have not trained them. And you see, they say when you don't train them, you can't blame them. People don't do beyond what people know. The more they know, the better they get in what they do. So we've got to do that. Then, of course, sometimes you find leaders who are not willing to do, but they want people to do. That also impacts on their leadership. Again, you may know how to do things because you spoke about the issue of competence. You may know how to do things and not know how to communicate it to other persons. That's also another area.
Okay.
You may know how to do things, but you don't know how to communicate it to other areas. So that's critical. Let's first of all change the mindset of looking at somebody and saying, "Oh, this person is not a good follower, as it were," and better look at them as what's their background, where are they coming from, what's their communication style. And I need to say something on that. Many times, what people, the communication style that we have with people is rather, is not working with them. We've got to know what works with them and communicate in a dimension that agrees with what they can resonate with and then work with. We do leadership sometimes, and this is new for me too. We do leadership as a one-size-fits-all, but it's not really true. Leadership, the way you lead one person might be different from the way you lead another person. And then, of course, what about the levels you are on? You all know, probably we all know the 5 levels of leadership. With some people, you are on level 1, which is positional level, and they only follow you because they have to. Some people, you are on the level, because they have to. Some people, you are on level 2, they follow you because they want to. There are some people in the leadership community who are my friends, who are close to me today. There are some people who are in the community who follow me right now because they have to. They just look at the community and say, okay, let's go there. But there are those who have known me for a while and they say, no. Then there are those who are on the 3rd level with me who will say, no, he has done something for us, so we are following him because of what he has done for us. So you communicate with people based on the level that you are on with them. If you communicate with someone who you are on level 1 with, as if you are on level 3 with him, you won't get your results. So most often than not, we have to look at how we communicate with people so that we can reach the places where we can reach with them.
Okay, thank you, PBA. I that's why I so much love the leadership community. I've just learned something now. There are no difficult followers, and that's for everyone that is listening to PBA now. The fact that someone is not listening to you or following does not mean he's a difficult person. It's possibly you have not gotten how to handle that. Now, PBA, I want to ask you 2 questions. The first one is maybe you answer in the affirmative, yes or no. Then that will now lead to the second question. Now, part of the teaching, I think sometime you talked about delegation. Question number 1, have you ever had burnout?
Have I ever had burnout? Have I ever had burnout? I have burnout.
Yes. Okay, fine. Now, if you have just teaching those of us that are coming up as leaders, how can you mention some of those steps, how you were able to navigate your way through and still be productive, because you are a man of many duties, assignments, you are this person's PA, and coupled with all the other things that you do. So how have you been able to handle burnout and you are still being productive as a leader?
Okay, thank you for that compliment, because you said I'm productive. I'm not, well, yes, I do a lot of things, right? But whether I'm productive is a judgment of the people that I serve. But this is it. You started asking that question by talking about delegation. Truth be told, I delegate a lot. I trust people. And this didn't just happen. You see, I've said it over and over in many fora. See, I trust people not because they are trustworthy, but because I choose to trust them. I decided to trust them. So I allow people to make mistakes. If you come with that mind, then you can give people opportunity. And when they make one mistake, I don't shut down on them. I allow them to even make more. I give room for more mistakes. So what I do is that I allow people to just help me. I mean, that's true. I see a lot of leaders who cannot allow me to help them, maybe because they enjoy to do those things themselves. And that's why you need to ask yourself questions. I have asked myself that question, and I realized that I enjoy doing things. So sometimes if I tell you to do something for me, before you know what's happening, I'm doing it along with you. So I have to tell myself, if 2 of us are doing the same thing, one of us is useless. If 2 of us are doing the same thing, one of us is useless. You need to take one person out of the way so that the other person can do it. God never designed 2 people to do the same thing. That's why we are all unique. That's why we all have our fingerprints. That's why we have our fingerprints. So you've got to be able to do that. I see that you're having some challenges there. So can we bring Shegun on? Shegun has been waiting, and then Jordan has been waiting. Okay.
All right. Wow. That's indeed a very great one. If two of us are doing the same thing, it means that one of us is useless. I've not had that before. Thank you so very much, PBA. Now, in talking about, you have started to talk about the issue of the election. And because it's something that we need to talk about. So please, I would like us to talk about the election that just happened in Edo State last week. Now, that election showed us several things about leadership. We have a leader that said, this is the way you should go. We have another leader that said, this is what you should do. And I remember when you were saying that when people are not following you, it means that it's not a problem of the follower, but it's a problem of the leadership. So please, kindly shed more light about that experience. I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say concerning the several leaders were giving their voices. But the truth is, the people eventually followed one. So what happened to the other leaders? Because we call them leaders. So does it mean that everyone we call leaders are leaders? Or what can you say, PBA?
I've always said that it's not everyone who is a leader anyway, but everyone has the capacity to be a leader. That's what I've always said. And without wanting to look at that election or any other election, I want to talk generally about leadership. That's my general thought. So I don't want to look at the election, but this is it. When there are two leaders and they are both speaking and they are speaking different languages and the people decide to follow one, the issues are, number one, we need to realize that in today's world, people have their minds and they will do what they want to do. You never expect everyone to follow your opinion. You cannot impose your opinion on anyone. It's easy for you to think you can do that, but you can't really do that. Not even the ones that are your children. For those of us who are parents, you can't really impose your opinion on anyone. Now, if you have a positional leader and nobody can deny doing what they should do, you know what they're going to do? They will line up with you, not because they want to, but because they have to. So I think the difference between the two leaders is that some people have not realized that I cannot continue to lead on the level of you are following me because you have to. They need to move up the level. And when they move up the level, then people will follow them because they have to. So what people, because they want to. So what people have done is they have proved to whoever it is that, sir, we want to follow this person, irrespective of what you want to say. Now, if I was not followed, what I should be asking myself is how much influence do I have with the people? How much influence do I have with the people? Which means that I need to grow my influence. And I've shared with us before, and permit me to do this because I see that Bjorn is coming up soon. There are different stages of influence. The stage number one of influence is position. Positional influence is it comes from what you do. Then of course there's the influence, the level of influence that is called likability. When people like you, they follow. How do people like you? People like people who like them. People like them. If you like me, I'm likely going to like you. If you are like me, I'm likely going to like you. That's why we bunch up. Then, of course, there's the level of respect, the influence of respectability. That comes from what you do. And then there's the influence that comes from your productivity. What results do you have to show? If you have no results to show, must I follow you simply because I want to follow you? So that's critical and that's important. That's critical.
That's a very great one, PBA. Please, audience, if you have a question, please kindly post it on your Facebook. Kindly send us the message if you have any question. Right now, my special friend again that I'm bringing on board tonight is a very great man. Please welcome with me Biodun Famojuro. Please, can we have Biodun Famojuro?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a great delight to be here with Bisi Akande on Leadership Community. I have been waiting for them to bring me up so I can fire my questions right away. What is your take on the subject of competence and loyalty in the place of leadership? What is your take on the subject of competence and loyalty in the place of leadership?
Thank you very much, Jerry. That's a great question because sometimes in the place of leadership, people mistake loyalty. First of all, we need to understand that loyalty, that's my thought. Loyalty is a two-way thing. There's loyalty up, there's loyalty down. The loyalty up is what people normally stay with, and they're expecting that you are below me, so you have to be loyal to me. But the truth is that for people to be loyal to me, first of all, I need to be loyal to them. Critical. It is my loyalty to them that brings their loyalty to me, which means that I am loyal to their support, to their system. I'm loyal to their work. I want to see their work improve. In the same way, they too would want to see my work improve. Now, when it comes to the issue of competence, that's another thing. You want to do a great work. So you don't get someone who is loyal to you who is not competent, because at the end of the day, it will affect the quality of your work. So you need the person that is loyal to you to be competent. And that's why when you get people who are able, you also get people who are faithful. You need to get someone who is both able as well as faithful. Faithful is the loyalty side. Able is the competent side. If you have a man who is faithful but not able, you disable the whole system. But if you have a man who is able and not faithful, you also have a problem. You disable the whole system also, because he has the ability, but when you need him, he's not there. So what you need is a person who is both able, having the ability, but also faithful, that when you need him, he's going to be there. I hear people say things that, what you need is availability, not ability. True, to some extent, but I don't agree. Because you see, if you are available and you don't have the ability, we're going to suffer. I mean, just imagine that I have my car and my car has broken down in the middle of nowhere, and then somebody runs down there and says, "Oh, I'm available. Okay, fine. What are you going to do?" I just want to sit with you and go through the pain. I don't want to sit by you and just go through the pain with you. The only good thing about the available person is that the available person is available to learn. If the available person is available to learn, with time he becomes able, and then he's serving you right.
Fantastic. There's something you said, a statement that you make mention of, that if as a leader at the top you are alone or you feel lonely, you are doing something fundamentally wrong. But repeatedly, leaders keep on maintaining it is lonely at the top. It is lonely at the top. Let us get from you a correction of why they keep referencing it is lonely at the top and what they should do to stop making that statement.
Fantastic. Now, first of all, I'm not the one who made that statement. That statement was made by my mentor, John C. Maxwell. Of course, like I always say, what you learn matters, but who you learn from matters most. So you have to read that. One place is lonely at the top. Another leader is saying, if it's lonely at the top, you are doing something wrong, which is very correct. The truth is that leadership is not a lone ranger assignment. I mean, when you say you are leading people, you are with the people. If you are not with the people, then you are not leading the people. And you see, the same people that tell you it's lonely at the top will also tell you that I agree that when you are leading and no one is following, you are taking a stroll. Now, if you are lonely at the top, excuse me, it means that you are strolling. Now, why they say if you are lonely at the top, you are doing. I mean, why they say if you are lonely at the top, it's simply because when you are at the top, most of the time, people don't see what you see. People don't feel what you feel. People don't know what you know. So how do you correct that so that you are not just lonely at the top, doing the right things that you should be doing right, and which is, that thing is a question. If you are lonely, it's like a question. If you are lonely at the top, then you are doing something wrong. So what do you say? You say to yourself, what am I doing wrong? That's leadership. Be humble enough to understand that I must be doing something wrong. I mean, that's humility. Most of the time, you see, leaders think that they are doing everything right. Nobody has all the answers. And I say it with all sense of humility. If you didn't learn anything during COVID-19, learn this. We don't have all the answers. The answers lie in certain places that is different from us. All the big all-time leaders got to realize immediately COVID came that they needed to begin to respond to their sons and their daughters and the younger generation to manage technology which they knew nothing about. Now they had the context, but somebody had to create the platform for them. So that tells you that you don't know everything. That's the truth. So if you don't have somebody who has the competence to create that platform, you would have the content, but sorry, your content is not going anywhere. You will stay with your content. As long as your content does not move from you, your content is useless. It is absolutely useless.
Okay, this is we're on fire here on the leadership community. Wherever you are joining us, we appreciate you greatly. We need to take more provocative questions. Some leaders know better, but they are not doing better. They are choosing to maintain the status quo. If a leader knows better, should he not do better and make a remarkable difference? Because some leaders, everything they know, like in leadership community, there's sharing, there's communication, there's involvement. They say, if you know what I know, you can displace me. So let me keep what I know and operate at the level that I know. What is the challenge? And what is your recommendation?
Can I say something here? If people know better, they will do better. But the truth is that if people know better, they will do better. If they don't do better, they don't know better.
If they don't know better, they won't do better.
If they are not doing better, they really don't know better. Because see, let's interrogate the subject of knowledge. How do I know you know something? I only know you know something when you utilize that thing. You can't tell me that you know something when you are not utilizing that thing. And that is the detriment that comes face to face with leaders. You will get a lot of information, and we think that by getting those information, then we have the knowledge of that thing. It's not always true. Hanging around your mechanic for a long time doesn't make you a mechanic.
Correct. True. Very true.
Working in the hospital does not make you a doctor.
Correct.
That you go to the bank every day doesn't make you a banker. It is possible that on a daily basis you speak, but that doesn't make you a speaker.
True.
There are certain interrogation of the knowledge that gives you that real knowledge that you can now bring into you. That's why I say, you see, leadership is not taught, leadership is caught. It's not teach. You've got to catch it. So it gets to that knowledge whereby you are interrogating the knowledge, then you are becoming intimate with the knowledge that you see. This is it. When you wanted to drive your car to your house today, did you have any knowledge? Did you think about driving? Did you question can I drive? Did you ask yourself?
Not at all.
You got
not
into
at all.
Car, you opened the door without thinking. You got into the car, shut the door, then you inserted the key or you pressed the button, whichever one your car uses, and you just started driving. You didn't even think about which way you are going to take until you get home. Those things have been programmed into your subconscious. So until the knowledge leaves your conscious and enters into your subconscious by intentionality, what happens is that you've not gotten the knowledge. That knowledge is still transient. It's still hanging out there. It looks like you know, but you really do not know. If you know, you will do.
Leadership community with Bisi Akande. I need to ask this question before someone else comes to join us in the studio to take my place. And this is very, very important. The subject of execution vis-a-vis knowledge. If you know, you will do. Why is it that some leaders seemingly can talk the talk, but they are not walking the walk? Knowledge and execution. Please expatiate.
It's often said that the gap between knowing and doing, that gap, that bridge between knowing and doing, that bridge is there, and we have to bridge it. But that bridge, action. There are several reasons why people don't execute. Like I talked about the issue of knowledge. There are several reasons people don't execute. Rather than executing, they just look at the knowledge, and we have a fashion that makes a boast of the knowledge that we have. We boast of the knowledge we have. That's why you see when people come on board, they want to talk because they feel that they have it. But you see, I don't respect you for your talk. I respect you for your action.
Fantastic.
That's what I look at, your action. If you tell me you're a leader, what I'm looking for is not your position. I'm looking at what you are doing. I'm looking at how the people that are following you are doing. I'm looking at them. I look at what you are doing. I look at the space that you are creating for people. I look at the platform you are sharing with others. Before I really can say, okay, that's the leader. I don't even look at the number of people that are following you because I know people follow you for different reasons. Some people just follow them. You can't even see the impression of their follower that they are following the person on them. So I'm looking at those two sides. Execution ends with action. People don't get execution because they don't just want to act. So we know these things as it were. I know these things, but like I said, I've interrogated the subject of knowledge. The truth is, you really don't know it until you do it. Because when you know it, there's a push. There's a push that makes you do it.
You know it until you do it. That is a profound one. I want to ask this last question for now, so that Shegun can come in and can engage us. And this is the last question. When a leader has results and the results are consistent, and we query those results if it appears inconsistent. If a leader has results and does not share with us how the results come about, can we query? Is it valid to query those results, or encourage the leader to share more about the results that the leader is delivering on?
The greatest job of a leader is to raise other leaders. The greatest job of a leader is to raise other leaders. Now, how do you raise other leaders if you are not sharing the how of what you are doing with them? If you keep your knowledge or you keep what you are doing to yourself, what you are doing is that you are shortchanging your legacy. You are not allowing your legacy to move on. You're not allowing people to understand how you do what you do. The truth is, this is the three-pronged way of raising leaders, or maybe four-pronged actually. Number one, I do it, you watch me. Number two, we do it together. Number three, I do it, you do it, I watch you. And then number four, you do it, someone else watches you. Let me say that again, because that's what I've learned and it has really helped me. Number one, I do it, you watch me. Then we do it together. Then you do it, I watch you. And then you do it and someone else watches you. That is what brings about the multiplication of your leadership. So you can't hide what you know from others. Now, you said something in the last question that I want to touch on. You said some people feel that if I tell you everything, you're going to displace me. The truth is that, why are you a leader? You're a leader because you need people to displace you. People need to displace you because you are occupying a space that someone needs to occupy. So what do? They displace you and you create another space for yourself. That's why you're a leader. So you're opening new doors. You don't stay with the same thing for years and years and years and nobody else is doing it. Now, I'm not talking about your position. You can stay in that position for as long as you want to stay. That's not the problem. The problem is actually the impact you are making, the things you are doing. You've got to be able to allow others to also be able to enter into this space. So if you get to a place where you have taught someone for a very long time and they have come to your level, it's because you are not growing. If you are growing, they're not likely going to catch up with you. So you have to keep growing. And
awesome.
So you are growing, they are growing. Everyone is growing. Because you see, there's no finish line with leadership. That's something that we need to understand. There's no finish line. Because when you get to the finish line, like they say, you are finished. So there's no finish line. You've got to be able to move ahead of the finish line. Just keep growing. There's no end to growing. I see one question you asked.
Thank you so much. That is, well, I don't want to monopolize. We're going to be calling up, bringing back up Shegun Odelmi. It's been a great time being with you on Leadership Community. I look forward to coming back again. Shegun, please come on and let's get it rolling. Please, I want to encourage everybody. You can see that the questions are hard-hitting. Do not ask simple questions. Bisi Akande can take it. He has the capacity to take the heavy-hitting, difficult questions. Shegun Odelmi, over to you. Thank you very much.
Oh, Biodo, thank you so very much. That was a very great section, and we really want to appreciate you. I told you before that I'm bringing a secret person in, and I'm sure you have really enjoyed Biodo. Now, we thank you so very much. We're going to bring you back, and yes, definitely you are part of the leadership community. I'm sure that Bisi Akande really needs to take a cup of tea, because the way the question was coming was hot, and the way it was answering was very hot. We want to say thank you. That's a good one. But now, I will soon be rounding up. Please, I still want to encourage every one of us. If you have, please roll it for us. And I want to encourage you, please make sure that you watch this session again and again. Several things we have learned today You know the truth, we have even learned more than when we fixed a particular topic. We have learned so much. And please, as we begin to see how to wind up, now I want to ask this question, PBA. Now, in one of the success significance that we took, now you said something about lucky. And let me quote what you said directly. In one of the series, the more effort you put, the luckier you become at achieving it. Emphasis on luckier. Does it mean that I can't bank on my effort to achieve success? What is the place of my effort when you talk about lucky, so that people can really get this and get it very well?
No, fantastic. Thank you. I remember that quote very well. You get luckier, the more the effort you put in, the luckier you get. And you see, a lot of people think that success is about luck. And the truth is that there's no luck in success. No luck. You can't really say that, oh, I got lucky. You know, people think that somebody got lucky. Just like somebody looks at somebody and is speaking, he say, that man is a natural speaker. He just can't speak. That person is a natural leader. He can just lead. He has a lot of stuff there, you know, and all that. But no, nothing happens naturally. We are all born into this world. If you allow me, we are all born empty, as it were. We all came in, and we came in on the same platform. We grew from that platform, learned, and then what you learn now determines what you eventually get in life. So a lot of times, what happens is that the more effort you put in, the more you work on your work, on your focus, or more you work on yourself especially, the challenge is that a lot of people are not working on themselves. In fact, Biodun chatted a question where he was asking, what is the investment that the leader should not play with? Your greatest investment is the investment you make in yourself. Putting the effort, stretching yourself, making more attempts, building your courage, building your capacity, building your faith is something that the more you do, the more you get lucky with the things you are called to do in life. Success doesn't happen by luck. Success happens because you are ready and you are putting in the effort. And that's why I say the more effort you put in, the luckier you are. So you can grow your luck level, if there's anything like that. You can grow your luck level by putting in more efforts.
That's a great one. But quickly, we have a question on the Facebook. We have a question that somebody sent. And let me try and see how to read it. Does this imply that good leaders are pioneers? I mean, they pioneer new groups to occupy for those they lead to that the space they previously occupied. Let me come. I'm sure that the question is on the screen already. The question is on the screen.
I'm not too sure that I understand. Yeah, I get the question here. I see the question here. Can you hear me, Shegun? I see the questions here now.
Yes, very well, very well.
The truth is, I really don't understand the question so very much. But you see, he asked a question. The first one is clear. Does this imply that good leaders are pioneers? Yes, leaders pioneer. That's why they are leaders. They are pioneers. They're either pioneering new things or pioneering new ways of doing old things. Because the truth is that there's nothing that is new, really. Everything has been crafted in and somehow. But you are either innovating or you are creating. That's leaders. Leaders don't stay with the status quo. And we need to understand that. Leaders don't continue the system and just stay with the status quo and say, oh, this is just how it is. You know, as it was in the beginning, so it is, world without end. It doesn't work like that. As a great leader, to be a great leader, you must be ready to innovate. You must be ready to be creative. You are going to be creating things. You are going to be innovating on what it is that you are doing. So leadership demands that we pioneer things. You create systems and create structures that other people can also come into. You're able to bring something together that can be a value to the people around you.
All right, that's a very good one. Now, finally for you, so that we can really allow you to rest. Now, finally, in one of the programs, we talked about empathy as a trait of a leader. What is the thin line between empathy and sympathy?
Okay, fantastic question. I like that. Empathy, sympathy. Empathy, sympathy. When you talk about sympathy, it means that you are, let me use the word that we use around here, you are feeling pity for the person. So most often than not, when you have sympathy, you are likely to find out thinking about what you can do to help that person. But when it comes to empathy, you are putting yourself in that person's shoes. So most often than not, you are sharing with that person what they can do to move on with their life. Now, in sympathy, people get what they should get or what they could get, and they remain in that same position. With empathy, the people are better off. That's the way I see the two. That's why with empathy, you are putting yourself in that person's shoes so that you can help the person better. But with sympathy, you are just looking at the person. Sometimes you are looking at the person below your level, as it were, and you are saying sorry. And I don't like sorry because sorry means get another sorrow. For me, I don't like it because it means get another sorrow. But when you are in empathy, you are bringing the person up. You are helping the person to get out of that place and be able to operate at the level that you would want them to operate. So leaders must have empathy with their people. When you have empathy with people, your communication is changed. The way you talk to them changes. The way you respond to them changes because you have empathy with them.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so very much, PBA. Tonight has really been a wow indeed. Bisi Akande really was on fire for us tonight. We really want to say thank you so very much. Tonight we have learned several things, and I want to really thank you for making this platform available for us. Indeed, you have really shown to us that a leader gives room for the others to be able to become another new leader. Thank you, PBA, for joining us. Thank you so very much. So please, my audience, I really want to say thank you so very much for joining us again tonight. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that you have learned in today. Now, today we have been able to talk about clarity. We have been able to talk about leaders and followers. We have been able to look at the aspect of the mind. Now, we have seen again tonight that you can't impose your opinion on anyone. We have seen the aspect of loyalty and competence. We have been able to see that you may be working at the hospital. That does not make you a doctor. You can be going to bank, and that does not make you to be a banker. We have learned so much about leadership, and Bisi Akande made us to understand that leadership is not taught, but it is caught. That's a very deep one. And there are several things that we have seen in tonight's leadership community. Now, I really want to enjoin you that please, you need to go through this video again and again. Please make sure that you send it to people, let them watch. And we want to get your feedback. We really want to get your feedback. And if you still have questions, please kindly send it to us, and I'm sure we are going to answer those questions. My name is Shegun Odemumi. On behalf of the leadership community tonight, I want to really say thank you for joining us. Next week is going to be another wonderful time. Please stay tuned and make sure that you become the leader that you want to be. And you can be what you want to be. All that you need is to be focused. Thank you so very much. This is Leadership Community with Bisi Akande. Thank you. See you again next week.